here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champion, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. And guys, we're getting ready to do this thing, coming to you always from ESPN 975-90-25. And guys, I cannot wait. I'm coming off of a hell of a weekend. I'm coming off of a big weekend, the biggest party of the SummerSlam. Went down with Bradley. Before we even get started, man, how you doing, man? How you feel, man? How you feel?
I'm feeling good. I also enjoyed SummerSlam myself, and had a nice restful weekend. I'm just excited coming into the show this week because I know that we being you and I, reality wrestling, yourself as an individual, there's so many big things that we haven't been able to announce yet. They are going to be announced soon. And the people, because this is what we do it for, right? Because it's all about the what, Booker?
It's all about the people.
It's all about the people. And the people are going to be so excited to hear all these things that we're working on. And for all them to be coming to fruition at once is nice.
Yeah. And I tell you, man, I got some really, really good news over the weekend as well in regards reality wrestling. So guys, I can't wait. I can't wait to drop it on you. But it's gonna be some good news for you. All of my reality wrestling, all the Road Nation, get ready, guys. It's gonna be some good news coming for you.
And our channel members on YouTube, which we want to shout out our channel members, including Callie Toenail, I see in the chat already, Loso Dolo, who are all channel members. $4.99, the best $5 you're going to spend anywhere is on the Reality Wrestling YouTube channel. And our loyal members, y'all are about to really get some great news here in the coming weeks, days. It's gonna be soon. I don't know when, but it's soon. Days.
Yeah. Not months. Yeah, I like that new one. Yeah.
There you go. A little LA night for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Book, why don't you recap us though your SummerSlam weekend? I mean, how was Detroit? I've never been to Detroit. How was Detroit, Michigan? How are the people out there?
Detroit, Rock City, man. Always cool to go to Detroit, man. It's always been a party town, man. Always had so much fun hanging out in Detroit over my years, starting back in WCW. But I tell you, the weekend was great, man. Over 58,000 people, something like that, showed up for SummerSlam. And the kickoff, my kickoff started like 8 o'clock in the morning because I had some interview stuff I had to do for some bios, which was really, really cool. But I was so glad to get the day started because I always say that the sooner you get it started, the sooner it's gonna be over with. That's my motto anyway. But the kickoff show, man, I had so much fun on the kickoff show this week, and I tell you, hanging out with Wade Barrett, Peter Rosenberg, Jackie Redmond, and my girl Kayla Braxton. I tell you, it had a certain feel to it. We was having so much. I wish the kickout show could be like that every time because I was laughing that whole hour. I mean, I'm serious. My gut was like knotted up because it was real laughter. It wasn't like play laughter, like for a show like that, you got to get up there and act. But it was so stupid, man. But the show lived up to the billing. There again, I don't think WWE has dropped the ball on a pay-per-view now in quite some time. I can't remember the last dud, but it's been quite some time. They went out and delivered again. SummerSlam was a big hit, such a big hit. It was the most watched SummerSlam in its history, the most watched SummerSlam in all of its history. So that right there says, the wrestling business is still in pretty damn good hands.
I mean, WWE's been on such a roll, man. They've been on such a roll in 2023. I think you kick it off with Royal Rumble, great, right? Elimination Chamber was awesome. That was in Montreal, Quebec. Remember, I had the Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns match. Then you went right into WrestleMania. And then after that, it was Backlash in Puerto Rico. Then Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. You had Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank in, where is it, London, right? Or the UK? London? Yeah. And then you fast forward to SummerSlam in Detroit. I mean, no, all killer, no filler. And by the way, during those shows, you've had all the NXT shows, the Battlegrounds, the Great American Bashes, the Stand and Delivers, the Gold Rushes. I mean, they've been doing it, man. I know,
Yeah.
but
I'm
they're
tired. I'm tired, bro. Even though I missed the last three major premium live events for the main roster, just getting back, it seemed like the old band was back together again for one night. And I tell you, man, it felt really, really good to be back in the arena. To where, like I say, the sea of fans, as far as the eye could see, it was monster, man. It was monster. I got out of there a little early. Before the show ended, because when you in a crowd like that, bro, if you don't get out a little bit early, you there to the end.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You got a game plan. You got to have a strategy when you're in a big show like that. Now, you mentioned doing the pre-show with Rosie and Wade Barrett and the like. I want to ask you, there was an announcement through Variety that there's some commentary changes coming to WWE where Wade
already happened. Yeah.
Yeah, Wade Barrett and Michael Cole, Monday Night Raw now, they're the team. And Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves have been moved to SmackDown with Michael Cole. Michael Cole staying on SmackDown as well. The kind of reports that I've been reading online is that the network partners and even Endeavor want to make Michael Cole a central focus of all WWE broadcasts, being as though they see him as a face and a voice of the company. What do you think about the commentary changes?
Cole ain't gonna never be able to retire. You can forget about it. It's hard finding the next Michael Cole too. But I'm glad in a lot of ways, but I'm perplexed in certain ways, just because I'm waiting on Vic to get his shot. I'm waiting on Vic Joseph to get a piece of the action, champagne wishes, caviar dreams, and all that. But I do understand the wanting to have Michael Cole, as a part of both brands. I do see that. I do know Michael Cole want to wind down a little bit as well. So I don't know how long this thing is gonna last or anything like that. But one thing I do know about Michael Cole, he's a player, man. He's a team player. He's a soldier, and wherever he's needed, he's gonna step up to the plate and take care of that job. And just a little bonus here, a little bonus there. Everything's good. Everything's good. So yeah, man. I'm glad, like I say, but as well as the NXT commentary team, Vic and I were still together. I like that, but like I say, I'm waiting on Vic to get his come up. But I'm wondering if Vic move up, who's going to move into that spot as well?
Right.
I just can't work with anybody.
Right. You got to have a chemistry. So right now, you and Vic are in a good role right now. I agree. The thing with Kevin Patrick is on the line, a lot of people, want to slam him for stuff and what have you, but
they want him bad.
They want him bad. They want to get that scalp of Kevin Patrick. Yeah. But I think that putting him on SmackDown with Michael Cole, that can only help him. I mean, you're getting coached up by, look, you can make the argument that Michael Cole's the greatest to ever do it at this level. Now, if you don't think he's the greatest to ever do it at this level, he's on the Rushmore, right? It's him, Ross, Soley.
It's only been a few of them.
Gorilla. But I mean, no, there have been a lot of guys they've had coming in and out, but not a lot who have made an impression. Just in the last couple of years, who they had? They've had Mauro Ranallo. They had Burke something or another. He went around long enough for me to remember his last name. No disrespect. Yeah. Jimmy Smith has been in that spot.
Yeah. Jimmy did good too. I thought Jimmy did pretty good.
I like Jimmy, man. I didn't mind Jimmy. Yeah. But a lot of people have held that spot. Matt Stryker has been there before in the play-by-play role. They've cycled people in and out.
None of those guys are even qualified to be on the Rushmore, to be honest.
No, yeah, exactly. They're nowhere close.
It's only like 3 Rushmore guys. That's why I say,
Well, you know who I put on there though as a commentator. I don't know how you felt about him. I really like Vince McMahon's commentary when he was on commentary.
And it wasn't anything that I disliked about it or anything. It worked for that time.
Right.
I just think we're in a different era now.
You could put Gorilla maybe on there. Gorilla?
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah. Shivani has a case.
Yeah, maybe what's the English guy that used to be with Gorilla?
Lord Alfred Hayes?
Lord Alfred Hayes, yeah. What about him? Yeah.
Hey, I love Lord Alfred, man. Jesse the Body was a great comment. I mean, there's been a lot, but as far as play-by-play guys, it's JR or Michael Cole, in my opinion, of who's the best of all time And with Michael Cole being the face of the brand, makes sense, man. This guy,
Gordon Soley, man. I think I like Gordon Soley the best, man, because he was the real original OG. You know what I mean? He would be smoking a cigarette with some Jack and Coke right on the side and calling the matches. He'd be so drunk sometimes calling those matches, but it sounded good. It sounded real good. So I got to put Gordon in there as well.
Hey, man. Well, you know what? We got a lot to talk about with SummerSlam. There's been some injuries. There's been some people maybe not coming back to wrestling. A lot to talk about, BT.
All right. Well, stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
To the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We talking a little something, everything, sports and entertainment, a little boxing, because I got a chance to look at that Spence Crawford fight over this weekend just on television. Brad and I, we were actually there inside the arena, but sometimes when you go back and watch it, man, you get a chance to get the real, true feel of everything. And when I say everything, man, I mean everything. But I tell you, on another note, I just want to make sure that I got this out there. I fly United. I know and fly United, right? And I got a chance to fly Delta just last week, right? And I normally don't fly Delta, but they put me on a Delta flight. It was cool and whatnot. And the dinner menu came around, and I'm like, you know, they asked me if I wanted some dinner. I'm like, you know, well, what you got? And they said, well, we got some chicken. We got a chicken salad, and we also have a braised rib. And I'm like, a braised rib? I'm like, yeah, all right, let me try to braise. What comes with that? Yeah. Salad, mashed potatoes, gravy, and asparagus. And I'm like, and wait a minute, and a side of cheesecake. I'm like, okay, man, let me try it out. And I tell you, man, I thought I was on one of them international flights, man. That meal was so damn good. United, y'all got to step y'all game up. All right, you got to step your game up, because I'm gonna tell you right now, the frittata, it ain't working. Okay,
They do put that frittata out there, right?
They love the sound of it. But would you have the frittata? To hell with that damn frittata going forward. Okay, y'all need some new shelves, man, because Delta is on the one. I just want to put it out there just in case anybody over there listening. Up your game, guys. Get your chef game up, because
now
so they kicking it, man.
Now, was it a direct flight on Delta? It was direct.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't have to stop in the ATL at all.
Nothing.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I will say, when when the missus and I went to Hawaii, that's a long flight, and the meal was barely a meal. I mean, you could eat it, right? It was on United.
Oh yeah, man.
But that chicken was mighty spongy. You know what I'm saying?
Serious,
I had to question it.
They have dropped the ball on the food game as of late. I just wanted to get that. I don't want to waste too much time on it.
Okay, we're good.
I just want to put that out there. Where you want to start at, man?
You know what? We can go more into SummerSlam, if you will, but also really some stories coming out of SummerSlam and SummerSlam weekend. One that I feel like we should get to is from a member of the New Day, former WWE champion, Big E, who we know what happened.
Tag team champion.
He was WWE champion as well. He had a run.
Big E.
Yeah. Remember he cashed in?
Oh, yeah.
And he started saying, "Can't you dig it, sucker?"
Yeah. I forgot all about that. That's what, man, these runs, man, they go quick. They go quick. Go ahead. How long was this run? How long was this run?
It wasn't long. I'll get you the actual number, but he did a interview recently over the weekend with House of Wrestling, and he was asked about his condition following that Ridge Holland belly overhead belly to belly that obviously broke his neck, and he was out of commission since then. It's been over a year, and Big E said this: "We did the year checkup, and all that stuff looks great as well. But on the other side, I've talked to spine specialists, some who've worked on people in the company and done their fusions, and they said, hey, I would not wrestle again if I were you. So for me at 37, these are the things I think about. I think about quality of life. When I started this job at 23 years old and probably had a bit of a death wish and was okay dying in the ring, I now at 37 would like to not die in the ring. I would like to do other things with my life." When I read that quote book, it sounds like somebody who's maybe come to terms in their mind with the idea of not returning to the squared circle after that severe injury. What say you about Big E's quote regarding his neck situation?
Hey, man, it's a life-changing moment. That one spot in the ring there definitely changed the whole name of the game. And the thing is, man, I'm sad. I'm sad to hear it. I must say that. I really like Big E. He's one of the guys I always thought was, really, really cool, down to earth cat. I remember when Kofi cashed in, not cashed in, but when Kofi won the title, I remember Big E, I remember talking to him. I said, man, your time's going to come, man. Because you're talent. I said, you're talent. You're definitely going to make it to the next level. That's why I hate to see something like this happen. But it's a cautionary tale at the same time to a lot of these young guys as far as going out there, and throwing caution to the wind. Sometimes when you don't need to, and I don't want to be, sitting here blaming him or anything for anything he did or anything like that. But what I am saying is for the next guy, for the next Big E, think about that, and hopefully, somebody can learn from it.
Yeah, Big E he won the WWE Championship on the September 13th edition of Monday Night Raw back in 2021. Held the title for 110 days, so a little over 3 months as the champion in his one and only reign. I would hate, you never want to see somebody's career end like that. If that's his last match was having the issue with Ridge Holland and the miscommunication on the belly to belly. You don't want to see that happen to anybody. At the same time, I respect him for being able to say, look, I'm thinking about quality of life. How am I going to live? I'm 37 now. How am I going to be when I'm 67? And that's something that I'm sure Book, where a lot of the guys from your generation and even generations before and after didn't really think about 67, or 57 for that matter. And am I going to get around well? Am I going to be able to move around well? Am I going to have kids and grandkids and be able to play with them? So Big E's thinking long term. I've heard rumors of him. Maybe we were just talking about commentators being a color commentator and an analyst of some kind on the product. I think that it's not a bad spot for him. He is a super talented cat, and I think that WWE is going to find a place for him if it's not in the ring.
Yeah. I really don't even know what to say about it, man. I'm just, like I say, perplexed. I'm sad that something like this would happen with Big E. Hopefully he can, like you say, come to terms with it and move on, and hopefully, have some quality of life. And, you never know what's around the corner either. You know what I mean? He might hit the lottery.
What?
The lottery right now, I don't know how many billion it is, man, but if he hit it, he ain't gonna have to worry about this. Yeah.
Dude, they're going to really rock that day.
Yeah,
and the same thing, though, dude, if you look at it, guys like Daniel Bryan or Paige or Saraya or Edge, people who thought that their careers were a wrap because of an injury, they were able to come back through the benefit of time and having those things heal up the right way. So you never know what could happen in the future. I just want him to do whatever's best for himself, both mentally, physically, and the like. So shout out to Big E.
Yeah, definitely.
Another person, though, who now is on the shelf is Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville tore her ACL on SmackDown. Sonya and Chelsea Green just became the women's tag team champions.
Well, hold on. It's over. Just want to get that out there.
Yeah. But they just became the tag team champions. And what's strange is, first of all, awful injury for Sonya, and that's one where you're going to need at least a year on the shelf. Not much you can do about that. If it's an ACL, maybe a little bit less, but it's going to be a minute.
These days,
maybe 8 months.
Yeah, 8 months.
But nevertheless, I feel as though these freaking belts are cursed. Everybody who has them.
How did her injury happen?
It was on SmackDown. I'm assuming, during one of the altercations, one of the contests on SmackDown, involving her and Chelsea, in the ring. But it's just, to me, think about it. Everybody who's held those tag team titles recently, they've been injured. Liv had them, injured. I think Raquel and Liv had them, injured. Raquel got injured. Just seems as though these things, man, there's something about them. They got some bad juju on them.
No, I don't think that's it, man. I just think I think it's the way things are done these days. I think safety is not the first thing that a lot of times these young guys and young ladies think about in these matches. They think about going out there and they think about entertaining at the highest level, and they throw all caution to the wind a lot of times. And that's a problem. That's a problem because we're seeing a lot of injuries, with the talent. And I don't want to, throw them under the bus or anything like that, because I know how hard they're working. I know they're going out there and they're busting their butt on a weekly basis. So that's not what I'm saying. But to be able to, navigate your way through landmines in this business is very, very important if you want to have longevity. If you want to work at the top for a very long time. That's why I give a guy like The Miz so much credit, because he's been able to dodge those landmines. Say what you will about the dude, but he's been on the show every week. He don't miss no time. No money is being missed when it comes to Miz. So I caution these young guys, to think about that kind of stuff, because you could end up on the shelf for a very long time. And one thing I say about this business, getting hurt is one thing, but getting injured is something totally different. When you injured, you go home. All right. When you hurt, you can work. You know what I mean? When you get injured, you go home, and it's going to be some time off, and somebody might slide and then just take that little old spot away from you. But that's just the way the business goes. Hey guys, we got to take another break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
I am the Rocket, Josiah John. I'm training at Reality of Wrestling. I've wanted to be a wrestler since I was a little kid, since watching it with my dad for the first time and seeing guys like Cody wrestle. That's what I knew. That's what I wanted to do. So I just had to take that leap, take that drive, and chase some dreams. The greatest thing about Reality of Wrestling is all the knowledge that's here. From all the trainers, Ryan Davidson, Brian Key. I am the Rocket, yeah. One day, Booker T just called me Rocket.
And I got to give him a cool name, man. And Rocket is just something that stuck out with me. And I think that's something that's going to stick with him for a long time. He had Rocket on his shirt. I don't know if you noticed that, but he's definitely falling into it, man. And he's really buying into what this thing really, truly is. And if he could just keep his mind on point and stay focused, he definitely could do something in this business.
I feel like I've been doing really well training here. Just coming as much as I can. Come early to work out before the actual training. We have like a whole gym for people to work out. What would I say to somebody that's on the fence about joining Reality Wrestling? I would just tell you to just take the leap, because everybody here is going to take care of you and help you get to where you need to be. You can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. And like I said, we're just talking about everything sports and entertainment. And when I say everything, guys, I mean everything. So what else, Brad? I mean, what we rolling at?
Well, again, I want to send my well wishes to Sonya Deville.
Hey, she's done, man. She's finished. All right. Let's just say that she's finished. She's wrapped. When you get injuries like this, sometimes we don't know if she could ever make a return to be honest, one of these things. One thing about this business today, out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? Time off is your worst enemy. You know what I mean? So young people, take the advice from Booker T. All right, Sonya Deville right now, she's in the hurt business. She's in the hurt business. You're welcome. And the only thing I can say about that is, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. Sonya, get well soon, girl.
Yeah.
Get back in action. She's definitely one of my girls that I work with on Tough Enough, and got a chance to see the growth of her, as well as Mandy Rose was definitely a part of that thing as well. So,
and Chelsea Green
as well. So definitely get back in action as soon as you possibly can. That's one thing about Sonya. She pushed herself like crazy. She's an athlete, so I could see Sonya getting back within 6 to 8 months. I don't think it's going to be a year at all.
Well, to transition back to SummerSlam for a moment, we talked about the car was great from top to bottom. I think that everything for the most part delivered. You're never going to have 10 out of 10 on everything. One of the matches that I had a big question mark on is like, how are they going to do this? Was the MMA rules match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
It was interesting to watch. I'll say it, probably, if I'm being honest, not my favorite thing on the card, just because the psychology of having a MMA rules match in a professional wrestling environment where you're not really throwing them hands and them kicks and putting the chokes on like you might in an octagon setting, we'll just say. It left a little bit of intensity to be desired, but after the match was, go ahead.
Did you? No, I mean, not to cut you off, but did you see the photos that Shayna Baszler posted?
Of her being busted up.
Yeah, after the Swan. Fight. Did you see the photos?
I haven't seen her post match photos. No, I saw she got busted up in the match.
She looked pretty beat up. That match right there. I think I was on my way back to the hotel. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. But I did pick Shayna Baszler to win that match, but I said she was gonna win it by arm bar submission. I said somebody was going to die from shock, when they saw what happened in that match.
3 elderly women in Japan all died while watching the MMA rules match in the same night. It's so shocking.
I'm just saying, man. But that was my prediction in that match. Of course, it's going to be hard to go out there and have a match like that. But I think that was I think that was a bucket list thing more so than just a match. I think Shayna and Ronda definitely wanted to go out there and be able to mix it up on the grand stage of professional wrestling, because what I was reading, if it wasn't for Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey wouldn't have never been introduced to the professional wrestling ring. So I think that has some significance as far as those two going out there and actually having that match, some personal significance more than anything.
Oh, I think it's huge sentimental value for both of them. Now, it sounds like Ronda's wrapping things up. From that post that she put out, I would have never been in the business if not for Shayna Baszler, and now there's no reason for me to be in it, or something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing. Sounds like she might be wrapping it up, Book. Is she wrapping it up? Is she done?
I don't know, man, but I saw her at the airport leaving, and I gave her a big hug, you know what I mean? And I saw Travis. Travis was pushing the baby. Yeah, it was funny.
On daddy duty.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I don't know if she's leaving or not, but she's done a hell of a job, as far as the wrestling business goes. She definitely brought a lot of new fans to the business that we didn't have before. No doubt. You can't, question her star power or anything like that. Bona fide. So if she is wrapping it up, man, good luck to her future endeavors and whatever she's going to do, in the future.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. What did you think, though? You got to be there and see Cody and Brock, which I think was the match of the night at SummerSlam. I just wanted you to kind of tell the people, what did you think of that match?
I tell you, man, it was a great match. Because it didn't have a whole lot of jumping off or anything. It was just two guys going out there, fisticuffs, fighting. The storytelling was really, really awesome. The Rocky Balboa versus the Russian came in there for a moment. That never say die Rocky attitude. You can just beat on me and beat on me. I'm gonna find a way to win. It was poetic. It was great. It was one of those matches that every guy on the card, if they're wondering what it means to work at a main event level, look at that match and it'll tell you everything you need to know, because wrestling is the art of going out and creating the illusion of a fight, a real fight. And those guys, they did that for me. They did that. When Cody hit him with the 3 crossroads at the end, you thought Brock may kick out, right?
You weren't sure.
No, but when he stayed down, you wasn't surprised either. You were just, right. Oh, wow, we did it. It's one of those things, man. And those kind of stories, they never die. They really don't. They really don't. Those stories, I think wrestling fans can appreciate forevermore, because that's what wrestling is, really making you feel like you're watching something that's real and you know exactly what it is. You know what you paid to see, But when those guys make you feel like that, man, you can't wait to see more. And that's the beauty of this thing called wrestling, man. That's the Shakespeare, the Romeo and Juliet, the Phantom of the Opera part for me that makes me go, man, I love this business. And Brock Lesnar, what a worker. What a damn worker. I mean, come on. Brock should get the award of the year. You know what I mean? As far as, worker of the year, as far as I'm concerned. That's how good he really made that match, on Saturday night.
Oh, when Brock wants to sell for you, there's few guys who can sell better than a Brock Lesnar. For a guy his size, to make it believable, when Cody starts, lighting him up and Brock's flipping and flying, back and selling it like $1 million. That guy's sensational. He's always been good at that. Go watch him work Finn Balor or AJ Styles, someone who's much smaller than him, and watch him sell or Daniel Bryan, and watch him sell his ass off when the time comes. He's one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest, in the world right now. I really believe that. At his style, his believability, getting you invested in the match.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it. But what was cool is afterward, it looks like he's going to throw hands again with Cody. He takes his gloves off. Cody takes his off. The song's still echoing throughout the arena. Right? And then Brock just shakes his hand and raises it. And apparently that wasn't a planned moment. Yeah. Triple H said that was an audible call by Brock. And if that's the case, what a big sign of respect for the Beast.
Nah, man, just, I know how good Brock is. It just tells me how far he's come, though. He's come a long way, man. He knows what the business is about. He knows that it's not about him. That's the part that, I respect more than anything. He understands about, passing the torch and passing it properly. Man, it was just real. It was as real as it possibly could be, that match, from top to bottom, from the beginning to the end. And you can't draw it up like that. I don't think, really. Of course, you got your blueprint as far as the way you want to go, but you got to be able to. That was like old school, being able to listen to the fans and follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel.
For sure, man.
You know what I'm saying? And,
it was poetry.
Yeah.
It was poetry. That match and the World Heavyweight title match with Seth and Finn, those were the two matches on the show that really stuck out, head and shoulders above everything else. Is the two reasons when you walked away from SummerSlam, be like, man, I'm glad I watched the show, because I got to see those matches in particular. Everything was good, but those in particular were really high level.
Yeah. Hey man, SummerSlam is in the rear view, but I tell you, we still got a little bit to talk about as far as SummerSlam goes.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, one of the highlights I think from SummerSlam, people have been waiting for quite some time. We got to talk about that. So guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Yeah.
Yes, and it feels good to be back. For y'all that don't really know, this is exactly where the Usos started at, right here. Please keep showing love to Booker T, to the reality of wrestling. Those guys in the back, they bust their ass every month to get where they want, where me and Usos is at right now. They're doing it for you guys. Show love the whole ROW family. I'm telling you right now, these guys are the future back here. We started, the Usos was born right here. Right here. So, hey, support the ROW movement. When we say Oos, y'all say, oh, ooh.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Talking a little SummerSlam. Went down this week in Detroit, man. I'm telling you, man, Detroit Rock City, baby. And the thing is, one thing about Detroit, opposed to here in Texas right now, man, the weather.
Weather.
It's nice and cool. Got a chance to hang out on the terrace, at the Marriott, and everything. It was like a party, man. It truly was the biggest party of the summer, man. The hotel was kicking, man. Hottie Scotty. It was all night long, man. So I'm telling you, man. What a night. What a night.
You said there was something else from SummerSlam, though, we'd be remiss to not bring up. What are you referring to?
LA Knight, man. LA Knight.
Yeah.
LA Knight. Been waiting for LA Knight to get his just due, and the fans been waiting on LA Knight to get his just due, and I think winning that battle royal was definitely it wasn't the match you thought he was gonna win, right?
Right.
I had my money on Otis, but I thought Omos was going to win, of course, because we hadn't seen Omos in a while. And of course, 7 foot, 7'3",
Something like that. Nigerian giant.
That's what I thought was going to win. But for LA Knight to get that big win, I felt like it was something that he really needed, just because his momentum is like well over the top right now. And when you got somebody like that hot, you got to keep the rocket on him, man. You got to let him go to the moon. I'm serious. You got to let that man go out there and have his champagne wishes and caviar dreams. That's the way I see it. And for LA Knight to get that big win at SummerSlam, it does a whole lot for the young man's career.
Yeah. Well, what the coolest part about it for me is he wins the Slim Jim Battle Royal. Fans go nuts, by the way, especially even when his music hit coming for the entrance. It's one of the louder pops of the night. It just, we love that.
It's that.
We love that. We were in Vegas waiting to get a table, right, to eat. I'm telling the fans this. We were watching part of SmackDown on Booker's phone. And LA Knight comes out to do his spot with Hit Row, and he does his entrance. And during his entrance, he just points to the crowd like that twice. Real slick. Look, it's almost just looking for a second. And both Booker and I turn to each other and be like, that's some good stuff right there. That was some good stuff. But he wins the Battle Royal. Then right after, they show a Slim Jim commercial where he's the star of the commercial. Along with the Macho Man was still in the commercial too. Oh yeah. That just shows you where they think this guy might be. I don't know. I don't know where it goes from here for LA Knight, but a title needs to be around his waist. And whether it's the US, whether it's the IC, whether it's the world, I think he's well on his way. And you got to strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah. You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. I think the beginning was the Battle Royal, SummerSlam, big night, big moment, 50,000 plus. Don't get no better than that. It really don't. It really don't. I got a chance to talk to LA Knight for a second. He actually wanted to thank the Hall of Fame, saying the good words about him. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you right now, the only reason we say it is because he's good. If he sucked, well, he'd know it. Because when people suck around here in the Hall of Fame, we tell them. We'll tell them they suck in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we do. We do. So a shout out to LA Knight. And look, LA Knight sat on the stage with the Hall of Fame before. Back in LA.
Yeah.
We had him live at the where were we? What was the name of that place? I forgot. Something Hollywood, something. Lucky Strike, Hollywood.
Yeah.
We had him on the stage there. But you know what? I want to ask you. I'm gonna put you on the spot. There's 3 iconic, in my opinion, maybe 4, but 3 that came to my mind. Iconic, one-word chants, right? Like yeah. So there's 4 if you include yeah. It's yeah. It's yes from Daniel Bryan, right? And it's these 2. What from Stone Cold and sucker. Yeah, and sucker. Where do we rank you? Is yeah up there with yes and
I think he's making his way there.
Yeah.
I think the only thing difference between LA Knight and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Booker T is the time he's been out there. He just haven't had enough time yet. But this is going to be his era. This is what people are going to be remembering. Going forward, I think is yeah. You know what I mean? Of course, it was what. For a long time, sucker. And one thing about sucker is something that's still going because I'm still around. I mean, of course, Big E tried to steal it. You know what I mean? Which I really didn't appreciate. I really didn't appreciate that.
You didn't like that?
I really didn't appreciate Big E trying to steal my catchphrase while I'm still alive and I'm still in the company. I'm still using it. I'm still wondering what the hell was he thinking. Because if you want to step on somebody's toes, you can step on somebody's toes real quick doing something. Look at Slaughter. Look at Slaughter. I could be like Sergeant Slaughter, man. You know what I mean? I could really be upset. I could stop watching the show just because somebody like that, Big E.
So you're saying Big E was a real
sucker? He was a sucker, man. He was a sucker because he was trying to steal my stuff. The thing is, I was original. I was always original with my stuff. You know what I mean?
You stole your stuff from people who are not in wrestling.
Exactly. Exactly. I know who to steal it from. They weren't going to be complaining about it. Yeah. Just say that. Shoot. But no, man, I'm happy for LA Knight.
It was crazy. He was doing the yeah back even when we had him on the show. In Hollywood, I'm talking 5 years ago when he was Eli Drake.
Bro, it just took some time, for him to get it over. That's all. He just kept saying. And the thing is, people gravitated to LA Knight because he's a cool dude. Mm-hmm. He's cool. I mean, you could, the guys want to be like him, and the women, they signing up. You know what I mean? They filling out applications, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just telling it like it is. I'm just telling it like it is, man. So no, man. LA Knight, he's in the right place at the right time. And I tell you, like I was telling him, man, I say, just cash in on it, bro. I said, this is your moment. This is your moment right here. Just go ahead and just let it all hang out. And I tell you, man, I'm just glad to see him doing well. That's it.
Well, you know what? He was great. He was great on Saturday night, as well as I know you got to see this match. Ricochet and Logan Paul went out there. Logan got his first victory in a year since last SummerSlam against The Miz. Continues to impress athletically. I think he and Ricochet went out there and they definitely treated that match like a video game. They wanted to do a video game style match with flips and tricks and all in between. But those two guys are very athletic, and they can pull that kind of stuff off. What did you think? You saw the match, right?
Yeah. Trust me, I actually liked it.
Mm-hmm.
That damn Logan Paul did some really good. The one flip over the top rope to the floor into the clothesline. That's very difficult, man. It's very difficult because he didn't flip just into the ring. He flipped to the floor.
Yeah.
With momentum going forward at the same time.
It's nuts.
Ricochet was a little bit off on the timing. He was a little bit
Slightly
too close. It's slightly too close, just a little bit. But I
had a couple of those moments.
I mean, but that wasn't a screw up or anything like that. It just, like I said, it just didn't look as fluid, as clean as it perhaps would have. But did it work? Oh, it worked 100%. When I saw that, I go, wow, man, this dude is, because that's innovative. I don't think I've seen anybody do that before.
Yeah.
Have you?
I not that I can recall. I've seen it the other way around.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that before. I've seen it in the ring.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it to the floor. And I was like, wow, for somebody that, not from this business to come in and think of something that haven't been done out of all the years this business has been in existence. I'm like, wow, that it shocked and amazed me. As well as, I'm not the guy who want to see a whole lot of flipping and stuff like that. But I tell you, it's a place for a match like that on every show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a place like that for a match on every show. I just don't like every match to be that way. That's my thing. When I see matches like that. So for those guys, they went out there and they pulled it off. It was a hell of a match. That damn Logan Paul stepped up to the plate again. Definitely stepped up to the plate. As well as I see, I must give Ricochet a lot of props because I'm gonna tell you right now, I see a lot of growth in Ricochet. And right now, I don't know how old is Ricochet. Did he get out? I don't know.
Past his mid-30s, I would think.
He got to pull his age up. He might be too old. Did he get how old is he?
Ricochet's 34.
34 years old. He's coming into his peak. He's actually now beginning to really start to understand what this thing is truly all about. And I can see it. With Ricochet, almost just like Finn Balor. I saw Finn Balor grow over these last 7 years into something totally different than he was 7 years ago. Was he better than he is now? As far as athletically, his body in better shape. 7 years, of course. I would say that 100%. But is he so much smarter now, and as well as knowing, what to use and when to use it and how to use it now, opposed to then, so much better. Oh, of course he is. So for me, I love the growth in Ricochet as well. He's on his way. He's a touch away from actually being at that point where I need him to be. But Ricochet is definitely on the come up.
Absolutely. Well, Book, we have a cavalcade of super chats to get to. There are a couple other stories as well. So I know we got to run for a break, but we got to get to it.
Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Every time I come here, I just have so much fun. I go home and we just can't stop talking about it till we come back.
The whole roster, top to bottom, star-studded guys.
We drove 12 hours from Atlanta just to come see it. One Mr. for the World. It's one of the premier independent wrestling promotions across America.
It's a well-oiled machine, and there's a lot of good talent. It's very rare on in these shows to see so much talent on one show.
The organization that he has right now, I think and truly believe that it's one of the best organizations out there.
Brian Cage is 15 feet in the air! Brian Cage from up top!
A lot of fun, a lot of good athletes, good wrestlers, good family fun.
I've been around with a lot of the other independent groups, but this to me is a very, very top and first-class operation.
Reality of wrestling, one word, heart. And that's what Booker T is bringing to Houston. It's already special.
He's created opportunity, and he's creating great talent, as you guys well know.
Can't make it happen without these young people, without the fans coming out supporting this thing. This is the flagship of Texas wrestling. This is the beginning of something big. It ain't gonna stop.
It's the best damn promotion in the country right now. The best independent promotion in the country. The best talent, the best coach and teacher that there ever was. And this is where it's at right here in the reality of wrestling. Believe that.
Oh my goodness, a Davidson driver!
It's a
very professional. It's a very good production. Booker's doing it right. I really enjoyed being a part of it.
Oh, what a rush.
The future of wrestling is reality of wrestling. That's the reality of the situation.
I'm Roddy Piper, and you're watching Reality of Wrestling. Be there, be square, baby.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I know we got a lot more to talk about, but we got a lot of super chats.
We do. We have 17, so we're gonna have to get through them here in a moment.
Let's get them.
Let me ask you this though. Last thing on the weekend, and then we can move to our super chats because some of them have to do with SummerSlam. Did you see? You said you saw Errol and Terrence up close. Did you see Nate and Jake?
Yeah, man. I must say I was wrong about that fight. I didn't think Nate Diaz was going to last no more than 3 or 4 rounds with 8-ounce gloves, but it looked like they had 6-ounce gloves on. It didn't look like they had. No, I'm serious. And then again, they may have had 8-ounce gloves. I think they normally fight with 10-ounce gloves. I'm not sure.
They normally fight with 10.
Yeah, I think they may have had 8-ounce gloves. That might have been it. But Nate Diaz, he fought. He stayed in there and he didn't quit. He looked like he got stronger towards the end of the fight. The more he got hit, the better he seemed like he felt. It was one of those type of deals. But I don't know, man. He didn't get the W. But he definitely fought his heart out. I must say that about him.
And he was classic Nate Diaz, right? Throughout the whole thing of at some points, Jake would touch him and he'd pretend to stumble back and playing with the crowd. And he even grabbed him in a guillotine at one point, and then the referee broke him up and he put his hands up like he won the fight. Like he was just entertaining as all hell, man. And you know what, too, by the way, I mean, the biggest win of the night, I don't know if you saw this, but the biggest win of the night was one of the ring card girls was Saweetie. Did you see that?
Was what?
Saweetie, the rapper Saweetie. Do you know who Saweetie is?
No, I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Saweetie is?
Man,
Well,
these new names and all these, I mean, come on.
You don't know who Saweetie is, though.
I'll find out. I'll look up.
Well, look, I'll show you right now. Here is Saweetie at the Paul and Diaz fight.
You know what? I did see her. I didn't know who she was. Yeah.
That's Saweetie.
And there's Saweetie once again. Gentlemen, I'm telling you, I might leave commentary if she keeps doing this. What are we doing?
I mean,
what are we saying?
that's a big win for them. Saweetie's a big star right now, too.
Have got to be firmly locked.
And not bad to look at either.
Not bad at all. Not bad.
Scotty. So, but you know what made me laugh is ESPN. Shout out to the national side of ESPN, but I had to laugh at this comment. They put out the notification. Jake Paul, stops Nate Diaz. Now improves to 5-0, and then it's in parentheses over MMA fighters. I'm like, well, because he did lose to a boxer. He's beaten basketball players and MMA fighters.
That's so messed up.
But he did lose to a boxer. I just want to make sure everybody knows.
That's so messed up right there. I'm like, come on, man. Wow.
So anyway, well, you know what? Shout out to Jake Paul. I'm not hating either.
No, man. Like I say, he fought too. Jake Paul fought, man. I mean, look at man. I got respect for anybody. I mean, those guys got paid too to actually do that. But I got respect for anybody that's willing to walk through those ropes, put gloves on, and fight each other. That right there, man, it takes a special type of individual to actually walk and do something like that. Seriously. I'm going to tell you right now, I've never done it. I can't tell you what the experience feel like as far as putting gloves on and getting in there and fighting with somebody. I've been in a lot of fights, and I know what they feel like. It's a lot of adrenaline going. It's a rush, and I think if I would have had the chance to actually have a fight in the ring, because I actually trained to box before I got into wrestling, just never got a chance to have a real fight. I can only imagine the adrenaline going through my body. I would have been just as scared as I was in every other fight I was in, but that's just part of being in a fight, I think, so Yeah, it's kind of tricky, but like I say, big ups to both of those guys going in there and doing that.
And big ups to now your new favorite rapper, Saweetie.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, you gotta say it like this, sweetie.
I like the commentators. You know, they didn't know who she was. They were like, "We have Sway Edie here tonight." And I'm like, "Who the hell is Sway Edie?" We do have some super chats to get to. Might as well start with
super chat.
Kappa Owens says, "Man, booking Brad, Detroit crowd sucked, and I mean sucked." I didn't pick up on that.
I mean, in the Brock Cody match, I didn't pick up. Maybe later on, I didn't. Like I said, I got out of there. I didn't see all the show. But the Brock Cody match, the Logan Paul match, I think they were up for those matches. I don't know about later on. Tell me what happened later on. How did it sound in that, Brad?
I mean, I didn't notice anything on the television side, but you know, again, and I don't know, maybe Kappa was in the crowd. He could have been in the crowd because on the TV broadcast, it didn't stand out to me. I'm not saying they weren't dead or anything, but it didn't stand out to where like, oh, what's up with this crowd? I was focused on the action. So I don't know. Detroit's called Rock City, so I'm sure that they were rocking for something.
I'm telling you, they normally like over the top, you know, in Detroit. So like I said, I didn't see that in the Brock match at all. I mean, the fans were there 100%, and then when the finish came, like I said, they popped. The roof came off the place. I was sitting in the TV locker room. We had a monitor with the speaker right there. I don't know if the speaker was turned up extra loud or whatever, but it sounded good to me.
Sounded good to me too. Our next one here is
Super Chat.
Beautify Rex ran into Zillify 2 at the Great American Bash. Nice kid. Can't wait to see him grow in the business. I know Book is teaching him well.
Yeah, I'm teaching him. You know what I mean? Trying to teach him how to, you know, not to do the wrong things. You know, make sure you stay on the right track. The little things is always what count in this business, and that goes for, you know, like a guy told me back in the day, you know, if you want to be a champion, you got to be champion in the ring as well as out of the ring all the time. You know, so yeah, we're working on the science of the game, and hopefully he's going to turn out just like the rest of them. Great. Just like I said about young Jey Uso, I had a chance to work with young Jey Uso, and it's coming up. And the first thing I saw with Jey Uso was "Star" written all over him.
Main event Jey Uso, man. Beautify follows it up with thoughts on Tommy Bolton's potential.
Yeah, the buzzard, man. Tommy Bolton definitely he's got an upside just because he listens well. He's a guy that, you know, don't mind you know, staying late, you know, to get the extra reps in. That's what I like about Tommy Bolton. He's a kid that don't mind doing the dirty work. We ain't got to talk about what the dirty work is in the wrestling business, but he's one of the guys that don't mind doing the dirty work. And that, you know, I can tell you exactly what it means. It means when I ask Tommy to do something, he go out there and get the job done to the best of his ability. That's what that means. It's for the dirty work. So yeah, I see great future for Tommy Bolton.
Always love Tommy. One of my favorite guys over there. Virgil Dawkins. My favorite match at SummerSlam was the women's triple threat. For a moment, I really thought Bianca was injured, especially after that cringy scream. Yet Bianca did go on to win the triple threat match, become the new women's champion, only to lose it to Io Sky on a cash-in, which also, by the way, other than LA Knight winning, was one of the biggest reactions of the night, was when Io Sky won the women's title.
Big ups, man. Big ups for Io. It's an international thing, man. You know, trying to get more people, you know, get more eyes on the show, and Io Sky is definitely a player. She's good, man. She's good. When she makes the walk down to the ring, you could tell she can get in the ring and go. You could tell just by the way she walk that she knows what she's doing inside that square circle. So for me, and Io cashing in, boom, big ups. Japan got another.
I loved it. And by the way, speaking of some of the great women from Japan and abroad, your son's favorite, Kairi Sane, is coming back to the WWE. That was just announced today. She's expected back soon. So we're gonna have and you talk about being able to work. Kairi Sane is excellent, as well as Io Sky and Asuka. They're right now the three of the best in the company. So that's great, and I'm happy for Io. What do you think about them putting the title on Bianca just for like 20 seconds?
It's another run.
It's another add it to the roster.
That's the way I look at it. It's just another run. She get it back. You know what I mean? She on her way up. She's racking up numbers. You know, at the end of the day, I think numbers mean a lot. You know, I mean, me being one-time world champ opposed to six-time world champ, which one sound better? 6. Damn right. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think she's just racking up numbers.
Yeah, it was a I expected an EO cash in. I didn't expect Bianca to win and then they cash in on her. But I'm with you, man. Pad the stats, pad them up. You know what I mean? They could have given it to Charlotte. Charlotte would that have been number 15 for Charlotte. One closer to woo.
Hey man, you know she's got 14. She's so close. She's so close. But you know what? We can milk that. We got plenty of time to make that work, you know, so just stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. We got more for you.
Listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Yeah! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ. Got my man Brad Gilmore here, and we doing super chats right now, guys. Everything you need to know is right here. So Bradley, let's keep it rolling, dog. Super chat.
Ray J. Dawkins, I'm very excited to be the future of this group. Bobby Lashley has formed with the Street Profits. Do you think that another member will be added? I think Bianca Belair would be a good addition. Street Profits looks like they're the Wall Street Profits now, dressing in suits, hanging out with Bobby Lashley. A heel turn looked like it happened on SmackDown. What do you think of this collective, BT?
I think it's good, man. I think Street Profit needs that switch. You know, coming out dressing like they playing basketball. You know, them days is over with, man. You gotta, you know, up your gear, man, up your game, up your game. Hanging out with Bobby, you rolling with a high roller, dog. You know, now you got Scotties running around. You got to know how to play the part. So yeah, man, I'm liking everything about what's going on with Tez and Doc. Yeah, most definitely. I ran into Tez, you know, at SummerSlam, and him and I had a little talk about something that him and I talked about just a few months back. So now it's time to turn it up and turn it on. Stand up and stand by.
What'd y'all talk about?
That's private, man. That's private. We don't give away private stuff, you know, like that. That's insider talk. What?
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Ray J. Dawkins says, I'm very excited to see the future. Oh, no, we already read that one. Sorry. Did he send it twice? He did. Ray J, you sent that twice, brother. Scott Bott says, Book, ever thought about doing a doc on reality of wrestling? 18 years. That's a story worth being told.
Believe it or not, we're doing one right now.
Look at that.
Yeah, actually, we're filming, you know, stuff as we go. And I think it's almost, I think it's in the process right now, getting cut up and all that stuff. But we just did some stuff, so hopefully you guys will get a chance to see it here really, really soon. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. Our next one is from Los Odolo. What are your thoughts on Becky and Trish not making the SummerSlam card? I will say, Book, when Trish came back and did the heel turn, it seemed like all roads led to SummerSlam, and it obviously didn't happen. They weren't on the card. There's some veiled, perhaps, things you could read into on their socials. I don't know. The match is set for a Canada Raw, but what are your thoughts?
I have no thoughts.
Yeah, I'm
really
with you on that.
I mean, if they wasn't on the show, they wasn't on the show. You can't be on every show. It's not like all the talent's supposed to be on every show. That's just not the way it works. We don't have enough room for everyone to be on the show all the time, especially to get quality out of it opposed to, quantity. You know what I mean? I want quality. So if I need to cut a match out, maybe 2, to make sure every match have enough time for this pay-per-view, which is only going to run for so long because we know we got to be off the air at a certain time. Certain things happen in matches to where times, on certain matches may go long, you know what I mean? And then they have to cut out time. So I get it. I understand it. But I understand people there again, not seeing their favorites, you know what I mean, on the show, because they really don't care about anything a lot of times if their favorite wasn't on the show. You know what I mean? And that's just the way a lot of people's brain work. It's just like a lot of people think, the best king was somebody other than I.
Well, I'll say
I like that right there, man. I've been working on my English a lot lately too. So
look at you. Well, you're doing it. But as far as Trish and Becky goes, I mean, would I like to see them on the card? Sure.
Yeah.
I will say there's not, like, I can't see their, like, after watching SummerSlam on Saturday, I don't see where, like, the time, the pay-per-view still ended, like, well after 10 o'clock Central. It was, like, maybe 10:45.
Yeah, the guys,
thing was still on.
guys that left the hotel, that left the building, they didn't get back to the hotel till after midnight.
Right.
So I don't know what time the show was over with, but I know it was late.
So I don't know where you could have fit it in, and you don't want to, just like you said, have it on there without giving it the quality time that it needs to actually tell the story to deliver. So, we'll see where their feud ends up. To me, it would be weird for Trish not to end this run at a big show, like at a big pay-per-view.
Yeah, look, I tell you what did Trish not being on this show do for Trish Stratus? If you could tell,
It didn't hurt her.
It extended her run.
There you go, Buck. That means more checks, more merch.
And we know we're gonna see. And we know we're gonna see a whole lot more of her. So
works for the fans.
Like you say, it's got to end at a big show.
Yeah,
can't end just on television. So we're working towards the next big show. So come on, guys, relax.
This is from Virgil Dawkins.
Super chat.
Did you see the Bash at the Beach 2000 episode on Dark Side of the Ring? They made it seem like Hogan didn't want you to win. I think he was just tired of being mid-card. I don't know if Hogan was ever mid-card. But I did see the show finally. I told you, we talked about it last week. But do you have anything additional that you want to talk about with Bash at the Beach 2000?
It was definitely eye-opening. Like I said, it was definitely eye-opening. I learned a lot about the situation that I didn't know myself, if it's true. But my thing is, these guys that put themselves on this dark side of the rings shows, they really open themselves up for criticism. They really do. That's the only thing I think, guys. Jeff Jarrett did a hell of a job on there.
Oh, Jeff,
I
felt bad for the position he was put in.
I give Jeff Jarrett, more credit than anybody that was on that whole episode. More than anybody, seriously, without a doubt. Eric Bischoff there again. I didn't know Eric Bischoff was against me winning the championship. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was with Hogan on that. I didn't know that. Those are things that I didn't know about. Like I say, if it was up to Eric Bischoff, I may have never won the championship. That's the way I feel about Eric Bischoff right now at this time, because the company was going under. At that time, the company was going down. If I didn't get it at that time, I wasn't going to get it in WCW probably. That's just my opinion on that. And for a guy like Vince Russo to go out on a limb for me, maybe he despised Hogan that much, but he's the one who pulled the trigger for me to actually start my ascent to where I became. And the thing is, like I say, for me, guys that do those shows, they just open themselves up for criticism. I've always felt a certain way about Eric Bischoff, just because I always felt like he protected me in WCW, and he didn't let me do a whole lot of jobs. But I realized if it was up to him pulling the trigger on me winning the world championship, I probably wouldn't have never won. So that's a thought that I wouldn't have never had in my mind if he wouldn't have never done Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, you definitely open yourself up for exposure, criticism. Like you said, I think that you're one of the more intelligent individuals for not getting involved with the series. I've always said about Dark Side of the Ring in general, I know a lot of people like it, but I just can't watch something that's so down about the industry. But watching Bash at the Beach 2000, I will say, and I shared this with you, and I don't think that you mind me saying this, was either I came away thinking either everybody in this doc, who had something to do with it other than Jeff, is either lying about something, or they're so old they don't remember a damn thing.
Yeah.
I don't know which it is, but not everything said by any party can be true. There's no way.
A friend of mine, he just called me a little while ago. He told me Hulk Hogan is I better not even say it.
Don't probably shouldn't.
I better not say it. I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay.
Definitely right about that. but no, as far as like I say, the embellishment of the story, what happened on Bash at the Beach 2000, I don't think the real story is ever going to come out, because I think what we heard on Dark Side of the Ring, just like the plane ride from hell, a lot of stuff was just put in there that wasn't actually true, because I was on the plane ride from hell, and it definitely wasn't that plane ride that they had on that episode. But there again, that episode right there, ruined a lot of people and got a lot of people a lot of heat, So I say, guys, just like when they call me and want me to be a part of some stuff like that, I decline. I decline for a reason, because don't think it's not a lot of stuff that I could be saying about, people like Eric Bischoff. Don't think it's not a lot of stuff I could be saying about Vince Russo. And then that whole, time period. But is it worth it?
Right.
Is it worth it for me to put my reputation and my character on the line for a show that's paying me $0 or very, very little dollars? Dollars that's definitely not going to be life-changing. Why do it?
Why?
That's my question. Why? But a lot of people still want to be relevant. A lot of people still want to know, let people know they're still around. They're still a part of the game. You know what I mean? But for me, there again, just opens you up for a whole lot of criticism. Hey, guys, we got to take another break. But Super Chatter, stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
My name is Nathan Wasser, and I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I came down here to Reality of Wrestling to improve my training and get myself more experience learning from the absolute best. It's intense. It's hard. You go at the door and come in with an open mind. The way they do stuff here is the next level. But if you do that, you'll end up bettering yourself in the end, and you'll improve, and you'll be able to work anywhere.
Nathan, he's an unbelievably awesome student. I'll tell you why, right? For a few reasons. Number one, the man packed up all the way from the Great White North to move down here to the U.S. to train, because he wanted to learn from one of the best. But what's even more impressive, on top of the fact that he takes care of his body, he works hard, is the fact that he was trained by a very reputable trainer, and yet still comes down here humble, hungry, ready to work and ready to learn, and not coming in here acting like he knows everything or that he's too rigid in his ways.
Booker's knowledge will help you get to whatever goals you want to do. If you want to be a big star in this industry. My end goal is to be in WWE. Coming down here to Reality of Wrestling, I feel is the best opportunity for me to get there. So I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can promise you, when you come to Reality of Wrestling, it will change your life. You will not regret it.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Shub! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. We're getting close to wrapping this thing up, but I know we got a few more super chatters that we got to get to, Bradley. So let's just keep it rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling.
I've just been trying to figure out on the break what this person called you about.
Hey, I tell you what, after the show go off, make sure you provide me to tell you what it is, and I'll definitely tell you. You're gonna chirp out. You're gonna chirp out.
I'm very curious. We'll get to our next one.
Super chat.
This is from Big Breezo. That Rhodes versus Lesnar match gave me goosebumps to my toes. I love listening to you guys talk wrestling. Yeah.
No, man, that match was the one for me that, that was old school. It didn't have any frills to it or anything like that. It was just two guys fighting. The fight to me was as real as you possibly can make a fight in this business as far as what we do. Like I say, the fans know exactly what they're going to see, but when they see it that way, it makes them feel a certain way about watching that show. It makes them feel like, man, I got my money's worth tonight. And that's the only thing a fan is really, really looking for, man. A fan, when they go to the movies, they want to be entertained. When they go watch a show on Broadway, when I go watch Cirque du Soleil, when I leave that place, man, I'm like, man, I'm feeling energized. And when you can feel energized after watching something, man, it's there again, man. It's the feelings that you get. It's what, how you remember. But let's keep it rolling, dog.
Let's go to our next one.
Super chat.
Guy Toenail.
And if you find the tenderoni that is right for you.
Yeah. The Reality of Wrestling, the ROW Jimmy, now WWE Jimmy. What the hell is wrong with Jimmy's? What do you believe happened? His heart must need a hug or something. The story keeps getting crazier. Jimmy Uso turned on Jay Uso at the end of SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It's not right, man.
Hey, man, I like it. I don't care what nobody says. I like it. Like Paul Heyman said, we haven't even hit our stride yet as far as the bloodline storyline. This thing got so many more layers to go. And I don't want to even give anything away. I don't even want to, say something's going to happen and it actually happened. And people think I knew about it. But I just feel like something is going to happen. And the fans are going to go, man, this thing is almost like a never-ending story. It's like me playing, Ghost of Tsushima right now. I've been playing for 3 months. Still not finished with the story. You know what I'm saying?
3 months? You've been talking about that game for 3 years.
Well, I started over. You started
a new one.
Yeah. I started a new one. I made it a little bit harder to play. And I'm going to tell you, it's a monster. So yeah, I get it. I love the bloodline storyline. And like I said, I don't want to see it end right now just because I know we got a lot more layers to go.
Yeah, Paul Heyman said they're in the bottom of the third, was his analogy, saying there's so much more to go.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how long the attention span can last for some wrestling fans. I know some didn't love the ending to it. I liked it. I like when you can add another layer to the onion, and now we can get a whole program with just Jay and Jimmy while Roman's off doing something else, right? And then you still got Solo there. What are we going to do with Solo? Is he going to turn? Is he going to be his own guy?
Like I said, let's not. I don't want to.
Oh, sorry.
I don't want to get off into that.
We're giving away. We're giving it away.
Ray and those guys do that.
We'll leave it to Bully. Leave it to Bully. Bully knows best. Bully Ray said you should average. Never mind. I was about to go in on it. Let me not do that.
Yeah, leave that to those guys.
Yeah. Kappa Owens. Oh man, that Reality Wrestling promo shows Uso back then. I liked how my fave Jay main event Uso has truly leveled up since then. Brad and Book, I wanted him to win. I know we all did, but that's the point.
You know what, man? I was thinking. This is what I was thinking about. Like in our new place, I was thinking about making sure we have like life-size posters of all the guys that have came through reality of wrestling on our wall. What do you think about that?
That's really cool idea.
Back area, yeah.
In the which area? In the back area?
The back area.
What?
Yeah.
It could also be cool if we can get like some dope local artist who's listening right now to come and paint a mural.
We're looking for someone paint a mural. So if there's anybody out there that does that, we had a really, really cool one downtown when we first started. Booker T Pro Wrestling Academy had on there, and it had, all the guys, like in wrestling ring and whatnot. So definitely, if there's anybody out there that does that, drop a line, and we'll definitely put you to work.
Yeah, even if you're not in the Houston area, you want to fly down and paint a mural, hit us up. Let's see what you got, man. Let's see what you got. We're worldwide.
Yeah.
We're worldwide. Eric Lamar says, "Hey, Book, coming from Fort Lauderdale. I know you've been down here before. How do you like the city? Also, Bronco and Nima from NXT look great. Shup."
Yeah, man. I like those guys, man. They're definitely got that street feel to them. I actually been in their ear, and they seem like they hungry, man. Seem like they're hungry for, just a piece of the action. So yeah, there again, let's just stay tuned and see what those guys see what they made of. Those, I'm gonna tell you, man, those guys are big too. They're not like small little guys or anything. Those guys they're definitely main roster material. So let's see exactly how far they go.
And what about Fort Lauderdale? You've been down there before. How do you like Fort Lauderdale?
Oh yeah, Fort Lauderdale. I mean, it's cool. You know what I mean. But I try to stay away from DeSantis country, even though I got to go to Orlando.
You go to Florida every week. What? You walked right into that one. I like Fort Lauderdale. I'll be there in about a week.
But now, you know what? Can I be real for a minute?
Go for it.
When somebody say slavery was beneficial,
oh yeah,
we learned skills. That's a person that is very ignorant to even spout something like that. And I just want to get that out there. That's why I'm, thinking about
anybody who says that it's an asinine comment.
It really is. You know what I mean? Yeah, it really is. So
party
yeah, I just had to get that out there.
That's asinine. But you will catch Booker in Orlando this.
Yeah, I got to be there tomorrow.
I'll actually be in Fort Lauderdale in a couple weeks. Shout out to Las Fajitas. That's my place out there. JLA_44 just wanted to give us a shout right there. And our last one of the day,
Super Chat.
Eric Lamar, thoughts on Pillman Jr. coming to WWE, fantasy booking, but Usos and Jacob Fatu versus Roman, Solo, and Zilla would be money. Do it. Do it now.
Look here.
I do it for
I ain't
you.
saying nothing about that second part, but we'll talk about the first part. See, because I don't want to look here. I don't want to even start no trouble. I don't want any rumors to get started. Booker T said, no, he didn't say a damn thing. But let's get to Pillman Jr. Coming to WWE. Hopefully, it's going to be coming to NXT.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing he's going to be there. You're going to see him.
If he's coming to NXT, man, we'd love to have someone like Pillman Jr. in NXT. Just because, even though I feel like he's going to be soon a main roster guy. But for him to make a stop through NXT on his way would definitely be really, really cool. I got a chance to deal with his dad for a minute. As far as share the locker room, we didn't, have any matches or anything like that, but we did share the locker room. And I thought, his dad was a bona fide star, and I feel like for Pillman Jr. And, we was talking about this secondary thing. And there again, I'm not calling AEW a secondary company or anything like that. But they are a company that, Brian Pillman Jr. Didn't grow up watching.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They came along just a few years ago. And fortunately, he was able to be a part of it, which is really, really cool. But for someone like Pillman Jr. to be on the mainstream, like WCW, like WWE, I think he would fit in and I think it would fit the profile of Pillman better, more so than anything. So hopefully, Pillman would show up and show out in NXT. Another guy, Nick Aldis, is on the radar for WWE as a producer, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm reading. And the thing is, a guy like Nick Aldis, I said it right here inside the Hall of Fame first.
Yeah.
I really think it's a spot for Nick Aldis in WWE. Me personally, I wasn't talking as a producer. I was talking as a guy on the roster. Nick Aldis, 36 years old. I think he still has something left in the tank, and not that you can't be a player and a coach at the same time. You never know where the thing may lead, but I do think Nick Aldis will be a great addition to WWE.
I think they both would be a great addition, and we'll see. I want you to report back maybe later in the week if you can, if you see Brian Pillman and kind of how it all went.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if I see him, first thing I'm gonna tell him is you need to cut that damn mullet. Okay, that's the first thing I'm gonna tell him. I mean, I ain't gonna even speak. All right, I'm just telling him that's
cut the mullet, kid.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It ain't working. The times will pass you by if you don't know how to keep up with them.
Well, and Dominic's got the mullet too, so you can't
Dominic got it, but it plays better. I'm not gonna even say that. It looks better.
It does look. It does look better on Dominic.
All right, man,
it looks better on a heel.
It looks better on a heel.
Yeah,
we got to get out of here, man. I want to thank everybody for stepping in the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams, all the super chatters, everybody who just played a part in being a part of the show today. Big shout out to Dutch Mantel for putting me over. Said I would beat the hell out of Ryback in a fight. And that's true. That's damn true. But we got to get out of here right now. Thank everybody again. Same place, same time. Next time. But peace. We out.